Okay, just a couple of case studies on police corruption and anti-corruption within the police force. It's always good to have a reminder of how the police can be corrupt and criminal themselves. These are just a couple or two or three that I thought were amusing over the last few years. So, Daily Mail, 3 police officers accused of stealing bundles of notes worth £30,000 during a raid on a suspected criminal. The 3 police officers have been sent for trial after being accused of stealing bundles of notes worth £30,000 from the home of a suspected criminal, and the detectives are listed. Stephen Phillips and Christopher Evans and Michael Stokes are all facing charges of theft by a serving police officer. Cardiff Crown Court heard that the 3 officers from South Wales Police were all arrested as a result of an investigation being carried out by the Force's Professional Standards Department. So it's an internal investigation, an anti-corruption unit presumably, but wait for the third story because that throws all this kind of thing into a new kind of light. Eventually 2 of the 3 officers were found guilty of stealing £10,000 cash and they were jailed for 2 years. Speaking after the conviction, the Assistant Chief Constable said that the pair had betrayed the trust of their roles. The pair had denied helping themselves to the cash, discovered in a safe at a property in Swansea in 2011, at a time when both were said to have financial problems. They were both found guilty by a jury on majority verdicts. More than £77,000 was said to have been found in safes belonging to the family, but it was later told no charges were to be brought and he was getting his cash back, but he was handed a cheque for £48,000. Stokes, a police officer since 2001, told the court he laughed when the person being investigated, Mr. Lubin, kicked off, demanding to know where the rest of his money was. He maintained, this is the convicted person, that he had not taken any of the missing banknotes, but the jury decided that at least £10,000 had been stolen by this dishonest pair. Phillips, one of the other police officers with a police career of 26 years, was said to have lost his marriage and been separated from his 4 children after being jailed for stealing £250 during a fake raid as part of a sting operation. He had been filmed taking £240 from a coat pocket and £10 from a drawer. He pleaded guilty to theft and was given 22 weeks in jail and dismissed. And another case, so this is an inquiry launched after £113,000 stolen from within a police station. A corruption investigation has been launched after more than £100,000 of money seized from criminals disappeared from a police station. Warwickshire Police has confirmed money went missing after being held in a secure storage area at its former headquarters. The money was seized from criminals and was being kept in a building in the village when it disappeared last September. The force, suspecting it may have been taken by a police officer, set up a secret investigation in an attempt to catch the culprits. But after a 6-month inquiry, no one has been caught and the force has decided to go public with an appeal for information. Initially, the force had reported the case to the Independent Police Complaints Commission, IPCC, but they ruled the investigation should be carried out locally and it is being carried out by the Anti-Corruption Unit of Warwickshire's Police Professional Standards Department. Now, this is going back a few years and I can't find a result of what happened, whether they found out who the culprit was. And another example, this is police who visited a killer's home and left without realising his girlfriend was bleeding to death have been cleared by an internal investigation. Charmaine McMurris, the victim, was repeatedly stabbed last Christmas by her new boyfriend, and the boyfriend has subsequently been jailed for life. Since the sentencing of the attacker, it has emerged that the full involvement of the Welsh Police on the night has now been investigated. The police had referred itself to the IPCC again and found no issues concerned with its response. It came to a head on Christmas Eve with a heated row in a pub and O'Sullivan sending threatening text messages to a man he believed was a love rival. Back at his home, O'Sullivan punched her while they were in the lounge and then stabbed her at least 10 times while she was in the bedroom. Following the attack, police called at the house to investigate a complaint about the threatening text messages. The QC told the Crown Court when police officers asked him about cuts to his arm, he said he had punched a hole in the wall. O'Sullivan told the police that all was well and the police officers left, unaware that Mrs. McMurris, a mother of 3, lay fatally wounded. After assessing the incident, this is the IPCC, the watchdog referred it back to the force to investigate itself. The police force said the inquiry had been completed. The extent of the police attendance and engagement at the address in Carmarthen in 2012 was disclosed in full in court. No issues of concern were identified in relation to the police actions or response on that night. So there you have it, the police investigating themselves. Not a good look. And finally, we'll look at this story quickly. Metropolitan Police Anti-Corruption Unit investigated overpayments. Detectives from Scotland Yard's Anti-Corruption Unit have allegedly received payments from a firm of private investigators. So there you have it. The Anti-Corruption Unit is itself corrupt. Scotland Yard is investigating allegations that detectives working for its anti-corruption unit have been paid thousands of pounds by a firm of private investigators. A parliamentary inquiry was told that invoices purport to show how a firm of private investigators made payments in return for information about the Metropolitan Police's investigation into James Ibori, a notorious Nigerian fraudster. Invoices showed about £20,000 of potential payments to police officers in what amounted to an undetected case of apparent corruption right at the heart of Scotland Yard. The police had sought to discourage the paper, The Guardian, from publishing details about the case, but the Met dropped its previous insistence that there was evidence that cast doubt on the credibility of the allegations. The case revolves around a private investigation firm that was hired to work for Ibori, a former Nigerian state governor, after he discovered he was being investigated by the Met, the police, for serious fraud. Ibori recently pleaded guilty to money laundering and was jailed in the UK after the conclusion of a major investigation into his financial affairs. The allegation now being investigated by police is that some detectives on the Met's Proceeds of Corruption Unit, which investigated Ibori, were receiving payments in exchange for information about the ongoing investigation. Invoices and other documents appearing to support the allegations have been anonymously posted to the Met and the IPCC. I'll leave a link to the story in the description, but these are some just amusing examples of the corruption that is found in the police. So the moral of the story is, be careful if the police come after you. Don't assume they are angels and do-gooders. They can be just as corrupt as any gangster or criminal. Thank you for tuning in. Please do like and subscribe. And of course, if you or a loved one are experiencing legal troubles yourself, I hope you found this channel and video useful, and the very best of luck. Thanks.